The baby boomers have shaped every market they've been a part of, and as they approach retirement, the market is again responding. Many boomers are asking for lifelong communities, ones where they can remain when they downsize or need more services. They want to remain where they've raised their families and developed their friendships. Recently, ARC invited noted architect and planner Andre Stuani to conduct a design workshop in Metro Atlanta to develop new models for lifelong communities. Let's take a look.
Fueled by the aging of the baby boom generation, dramatic changes are taking place in communities throughout our nation and our region.
We started looking at community building and realized that we wanted to keep people in communities for their whole lives, throughout their lifetime, and that these communities should serve younger people, older people, and all of us want to live there for a lifetime.
The baby boomers have basically built themselves a habitat that is not going to allow them to age gracefully within it. What a lot of us are looking for is actually the same thing that a lot of households are looking for. It's not only the boomers who are beginning to be a lot more interested in places that are walkable, that allow for much easier social interaction, that have a considerable amount of public space, places where it's easy to live, work, play, shop in convenient relationships, and that have access to transit.
What will it take to create real lifelong communities, places where individuals can live throughout their lives? To help answer this question, the Atlanta Regional Commission assembled a multidisciplinary team of experts from around the U.S., led by world-renowned architect and planner Andre Stuani.
And probably the most stunning thing that I can say all day, and you might hear all week, is that prior to 1950, there were no retirement communities in the world. I couldn't find one. I have challenged people to find one. They did not exist because they were unnecessary. People retired in their neighborhoods where they could grow quite old, walking to their daily needs. And when that became impossible, surrounded by people who they've known essentially all their lives to help them along. It is only with the advent of the post-war suburban model, where we separated everything from everything else, and it became dysfunctional for any but those who can drive.
We have to ask ourselves why in metropolitan Atlanta we live in places where we can't take a walk and get a cup of coffee or meet some friends for lunch. Why we live in places where the only way to get around is a car. We only have one option to get the places we need to go. We have to ask ourselves why, when we grow tired of mowing the lawn, when we are looking for the option to downsize, we have to move away from the communities that we love.
I think that a lifelong community ought to be a place that welcomes people, regardless of their age, but also regardless of their kind of health and function, no matter what age they are.
For 9 days, ARC's Lifelong Communities Initiative focused on 5 sites around the Atlanta region, with the goal of imagining how they could become new models to foster quality living for a lifetime. Architects, town planners, aging experts, and more than 1,500 Metro residents helped ARC in this groundbreaking effort.
Older people want to participate in all the cultural opportunities in the community, want to walk down to the park and see younger people in the park, be part of it. And I think that's just a critical part. There's also just the availability of services in communities as we envision them, that we will have communities where older people can walk to different services, maybe to the doctor's office or to other services that they may need, and be part of a whole comprehensive community.
The lifelong community sites are diverse in nature. In Southeast Atlanta, a site next to the proposed Atlanta Beltline is envisioned as a walkable community with new housing and shopping.
I think the biggest challenge to a true lifelong community is just mixing the different lifestyles of the residents that are going to live there. Everybody wants to feel that they're welcome and connected, and to have a true neighborhood, you want to have seniors, you want to have young babies. You want to have somewhere where people can walk and shop and enjoy the parks, the green space. And trying to put all those together is a challenge because everybody has a different wish list. But we think we've got a great location here that can offer so much of that. Whether it's walking to the Grant Park or getting on the bus and going into town, there's a lot to do here. And with the Beltline opportunities and all the trails, we think that's a great amenity to have that everyone would enjoy here. So we think that gives us an added plus here in this community.
A Mableton site in Cobb County offers amenities such as the Mable House Cultural Arts Center and Amphitheater and the Silver Comet Trail.
This property, the reason it's such a good choice is because it's right across from the Mable House and our Cultural Arts Center in Mableton. We have a new library that's within walking distance. The post office is within walking distance. The hospital is about 1.5 miles. The Silver Comet Trail is about 1.25 miles. So it's right in the center of all of these great amenities that I think would make a wonderful, livable community.
In Conyers, a lifelong community vision emerged, offering an alternative for those who want regular access to the city, but who are interested in small-town, tranquil living. Near Toco Hills in DeKalb County, a more urban vision emerged, with access to parks and recreation, as well as proximity to Emory University's lifelong learning and healthcare amenities.
We feel that this is a really critical time for this community and for this piece of property in particular because as our residents are aging, so is the housing stock. And so the opportunities to consider options to what's presently on the ground has been presented to the Planning Commission and the Board of Commissioners by the property owner. They'd like to see this property over time turn into something else.
DeKalb County, but particularly this part of DeKalb County, is really sort of ideal for the notion of lifelong communities. We're an area which was settled early in Metro Atlanta's suburban development, and many people liked it so much that they stayed throughout their entire life cycle.
I love the process that has been described. One of the things that's important is that if you have the correct process, the outcome will be desirable. And that is very, very important. Getting input from the citizens, making sure there is ample opportunity for input, not only from the residents, the community. The community embraces the residents, the businesses. We're all a part of the community.
Not far from a downtown shopping district, the Fayetteville site will provide a multi-use path linking the neighborhood projects such as the villages of Lafayette and the city's amphitheater. So what was learned from this Lifelong Communities Design Workshop?
Most importantly, that the places we live are not lifelong communities. It is very hard to find a place in the metro region that would fit the definition of a lifelong community. That lifelong communities don't just happen, that they actually require significant, thoughtful planning and good design.
I think the greatest challenge to creating a lifelong community here is really the challenge that older suburban areas have. How do you kickstart a redevelopment project? Because after you kickstart it now, it spreads in a wonderful way. And I think to have that first step, which we hope comes out of this lifelong community, will give an opportunity to redevelop the whole area.
As these innovative new places become reality, Metro Atlanta can become a model for healthy, quality living, not just for older adults, but for people of all ages.